let's talk setting up the perfect workspace for free motion quilting. Hi, I'm Sarah from sewingmastery.com, and if you want to become a better free motion quilter, it literally comes down to what you have your sewing machine in or set upon. I want to show you a couple things that have made such a difference in my own free motion quilting journey for me to feel comfortable learning and staying consistent in mastering the skills it takes to free motion quilt. I hear this every time I teach a free motion quilting class is people struggle, and when I ask them what their sewing setup is at home, and they talk about their machine just being on a kind of a table or a desk from somebody's relative, and they're attached to it, so it's hard to tell them, like, that's probably not the best setup when you're wanting to do free motion quilting. One of the best solutions is when your quilt can run all the way through your machine at a flush level. So right here, number one, my arms are at 90 degrees. Okay, and also your chair is going to make such a difference. So we'll get to that soon too. But if you can find yourself a sewing cabinet, something that you can set your machine down inside of it, and then have an insert cut out for your exact model, this is the ideal setup. It makes you so you're a little taller than your sewing machine and allows you to have a little bit more control as you're moving your fabric around and working within the arm or finger area of the L shapes that you get when you put them down here. This is so much more comfortable when your machine is at the correct height. So sewing cabinet companies have really dialed in to what everybody likes to purchase. At our retail store, we actually sell a ton of cabinets because we have so many on display. And it's so fun to kind of help fit somebody to their perfect piece of furniture that's going to make them a better sewer. And then also, like, shoulders and back area is not going to hurt so much. Now, I know we're not doctors, but we can see it instantly. When you're sitting at the right height, you will actually enjoy sewing for a longer time. When things start to hurt, then you don't do things as smooth, you get frustrated, you start making mistakes, and you stop sewing. And then, so you're sewing in shorter distances. Now, it's still key to take breaks. And as I talk throughout this course, I always remind myself to get up about every 20 minutes, because after doing sewing for 20 minutes or so, especially if it's free motion quilting, I need time for my back to relax, my eyes to refocus. So I love looking out a window when I have that opportunity. It makes your eyes look at something far in the distance, and then it will help you. So when you come back to your next time sitting down at your machine for another 20 minutes, you really have accurate stitching so you don't get frustrated and throw it all out the window. So on this particular cabinet, you can see right here, there's kind of a separator. It's because this part actually swings up and helps support the quilt as it goes out the back side. Gravity is your worst enemy when it comes to free motion quilting. So as soon as that quilt goes off the edge of your table, so if you only have a small distance, you will find that you're always kind of like trying to pile it onto the table and keeping it in the area. And of course, if most of the time it's not just small projects. They get bigger and bigger as you become more proficient, and gravity is an issue. The other thing is to have your machine as far over to the right side of your table with the most amount of space to the left side, because that's where all the bulk of your fabric is going to be. So Horn of America is a great cabinet company to work with. It does support the larger Bernina machines and larger sewing machines that are out there that are heavier. And that's what you want to also do, is make sure that you don't buy inexpensive sewing furniture, because it can actually wiggle or rattle on that piece that the machine is setting on. You do need to kind of make sure that it's rated for the weight of your particular model. That's going to make such a difference. Now, I've got a few other solutions for you, but this is truly like what you want to aspire to having. And even if you don't have room for such a massive cabinet, there are other cabinets that are a little bit more compact but still have this feature where you can really keep the quilt from falling off the edge, from gravity taking over and making it difficult to move around. So another company we love to work with is Aero Cabinets. I'll put a link where if you click on the link and check out one of the Aero cabinets and have it delivered to you, we do get credit for your purchase, so check those out. And then also check out the Aero chairs. They're kind of cute. Everybody loves them when they sit on them. There's a nice little support where the back is, and there's actually storage in the seat. This is one chair that's affordable and doesn't take up a lot of room. I find a lot of people enjoy sewing when they splurge for an Aero chair. And they come in such fun, cute colors. So pick yourself out a fun chair and have it delivered with your new cabinet. Make sure you stick around to the end. I'm going to talk about this little polishing kit that is going to make your work surface super slick. But before I get here, let's talk about another solution that could actually make a difference. So these are from So Steady, the portable tables that are custom cut once again to the machine and model number that you're working with. And then they slide around the free arm area and help extend the work surface. So if you're doing free motion quilting, this is option number 2. It's great because it has adjustable legs, which is great because if your machine isn't sitting on a totally perfect level surface, you can make these like different heights slightly and then actually make it so it's nice and smooth. They do a wonderful option and they bevel these edges so there's nice smooth edges. So as your fabric goes off the edge of them, they do make it so it's easy to kind of pull it back up. So gravity is still an issue with this, but it is better than nothing. And you can definitely work on maybe even putting some extra things around this table so you can keep the fabric or your larger quilts from falling off the edge. A resource we recommend is actually a book called Machine Quilting in Sections by Marty Michelle. And that online course is also available on Craftsy, so we'll put some links where you can check those out. So if you can't quilt a super large quilt, her techniques allow you to quilt them in smaller sections, and then how in the world do we have it so it comes back together and the batting and the quilt looks seamless when it's all done. And she's got lots of different ways for all different types of quilt patterns, sizes that really make sense. And it's pretty amazing when you can work on smaller pieces such as like baby quilt size, but you put a whole bunch of baby quilt sizes together and you have a full size quilt or a king size quilt when you're all said and done. Now, on a side note, So Steady also has a very unique table where you can actually put the stitch regulator from Bernina in the table upside down, and you can use it in a totally different way. So we're going to put a video that we've done in the past nearby here that you can click on and watch it and see how that actually works. It does allow you to use ruler work. Your option number 3 is to get a table that is much lower than a traditional desk or table. And that could be meaning taking off like 4 inches of the legs, if that's possible at all. But what you're doing is you're putting the machine on a table that's sitting way down here, much lower, kind of like where it's sitting down inside this cabinet. Well, that height of a much lower table will put the machine at a lower level, getting your arms to that 90-degree angle that will make it easy for you to use. And then using the slide-on table that comes with your machine as a work surface. So just the fact that you're more on top of the machine than being like up here where your machine is sitting on a table and then it sits, 4 or 5 inches higher, and now you're quilting like this, and this is not the ideal area or height for you to quilt at. That at least is an option that you might be able to look around your house and see if there's a table that you can alter for a much lower level. Now, I did mention this little polishing kit, and this is actually made by So Steady, which is the maker of the tables, and they're the makers of the inserts that go into cabinets. So depending on which cabinet you buy, and then when you partner it with the machine that you own, they cut that out. Well, what it is, right now this table is super slick. This is a new insert. It feels super easy to move my fabric around. But you take a little bit of this polish and the cloth and just like go around, polish it up. It turns out to be so much more slick than you ever thought possible. And it makes a difference for free motion quilting. So make sure that if you have an insert and you didn't even know this existed, get the little polish kit and treat yourself to like a brand new surface, because that will make a difference for easily gliding your fabric across your machine for precision free motion quilting. If you've never had a cabinet solution, treat yourself to at least go explore cabinets in your area that could work with your particular machine. Remember, it needs to be rated to support the weight of your current machine. Not all cabinets do, so make sure that that is equal. Otherwise, you're going to run into other problems that you don't want to deal with. But I can sit here, 20 minutes at a time and really make a difference in how proficient and exact my free motion quilting will turn out. Remember, if you're looking for Arrow cabinets or Arrow sewing chairs, click on that link so we can get credit for your purchase and you can have a brand new sewing cabinet delivered to your home today.